Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. We're rolling along in this week, thanking and praising God for everything. Okay. We are thanking God for everything. I'm so grateful this morning because God is such an amazing God and Father and Daddy. I see him in these different lights depending on what I'm going through. I kind of had a moment last night. I had a memory that popped up on my phone, and it was my apostle that I sit under in Atlanta, and he was ministering a word 1 year ago yesterday that I was present for. And the word was, I don't understand, but I trust him. And I had said that to him repeatedly 1 week prior to that when my grandson transitioned. And it just, it brought a flood of emotions to me, shed a few tears, but in the midst of that, I could feel the presence of God. I could feel his love around me. And it was just, yeah, God is a good God. I'm serious. When he can walk you through the deepest of valleys and the darkest of time, and just be everything. So I thank him for everything. Okay, that's not my nugget today, and I don't even know why I brought that up. But anyway, you might have needed to hear that. My nugget today is that you are the answer, you are the solution to whatever the problem is, whatever the situation is. I was pondering on Jeremiah 1 and 5 this morning, where the Lord told Jeremiah, before I formed you, before you were in your mother's womb, I created you, I formed you. Excuse me, excuse me. And before you even took a breath, I had consecrated you. I had set you apart to be a prophet to the nations. Excuse me. He had already, before Jeremiah pushed out into this world, he had already placed within him the anointing. I can't think of any other word, the anointing to be a prophet to the nations. You, before your mother pushed you out, God had already put in you the anointing that you need to go forth and to do whatever He called you to do. I used to get upset, I promise you, because people would just come to me, and I mean, I could be sitting working, and they would just come sit in my chair, and some of them were people that I knew didn't like me, and it's just like, and just start talking, and I'm like, okay, why are you here? Would be what was going on in my mind. But God said, because you have the answer. Whatever it is they're walking through, you have the answer. And I did, because the answer was him. So I want to encourage you. Yesterday we talked about the seed that was within you. So this is kind of a continuation of that God had placed that seed within you before you ever got here. Do you not remember that the word says that you were in him before the foundation of the earth was laid? Before it was laid, okay? Before mommy and daddy even knew who each other were, God already had an appointed time for you to come forth. He orchestrated the DNA. I had to come to terms with that because I had some kind of feelings about my biological father. I always wanted to meet my mother, but had some kind of feeling about my biological father. And God had to get me beyond that, which He did once I got saved, because it took me giving my heart to Him to do it. But I had to come to terms with, well, you chose that DNA to push me out, to give me some of the characteristics I have. Like, the man has some issues, no doubt about it. So do I. So do you. But he also had some good qualities and some characteristics that my siblings and I have acquired. I told them the first year that I met them, it's like, you know what? We are this man's legacy, and we're good people. No matter what he did, we're good people. We're good people because we got God, but we are the legacy that continues on. Um, Anyway, I'm not going to get on that soapbox either. What I really, really want you to understand is those ideas, those witty ideas that are going on in your mind. Maybe you have an invention that you have not put legs to yet, and you need to because the world is waiting on it. Maybe there's a book that God has placed deep within you, and you know He called you to write it, and you're having those doubts of, I'm not an author, I don't know how to do this. If God put it in you, He will pull it out of you. Trust Him. You have the solution. You are the answer. Think about it. Entrepreneurs, when they start a business for well, they should be trying to serve others. All right. Because they know that there's a need. And so they can provide the answer to the need. And that's what makes their business successful. You have a life need. God has placed within you things that you are ordained and anointed to deliver to the world. So let Him use you, let it come out, and be all that He created you to be. All right? You are the solution to the problem. I'm going to leave that with you. All right. I pray that you are having and will have, and it will be productive and successful and meaningful day, and fantabulous as well. And you know that I love you with the love of Christ. And you know that that is deep within my heart. And there is not a single solitary thing that you can do about that. All right. You have an incredibly blessed